Hi, thanks for tuning in to Talkin' Tabletop. Today we're going to talk about our top 5 Expandalone games. Now let me explain that.
Yeah. This is a new term that recently has come up with thanks to individuals like Chaz Marler, Pair of Dice Paradise.
Yeah.
Specifically, it was due to he did a Table Scraps episode on games and do expansions count as separate games? What about standalone expansions or expandalones? And I heard that phrase, I was like, that's interesting. We should talk about that.
And so we decided to, and if you have seen our previous video for our top 10 expansions, we specifically avoided expandalone games, the ones that can be played by themselves.
That have to have a base game to play it.
Yeah.
Like the heroes in Hero Realms. Or the horses and stagecoach for Colt Express.
Any of the scenarios for time stories.
Correct.
Yeah. So now one thing that I included in mine is I do have an honorable mention of a series of games that were 3 of the same games in the same series.
Okay.
And while neither of those can expand each other, I did want to mention
for clarity's sake. These are going to be games that you can use as an expansion for the base game.
Yes.
But they stand on their own as a self-standing entity.
Right.
So number 5.
Number 5. So my honorable mention, just before we do, is the Unlock series from Space Cowboys. I just wanted to mention that because they are part of the same series.
Yep.
Same with Exit from Cosmos.
Yep.
But my real honorable mentions are Carcassonne Wheel of
games.
Fortune, because Carcassonne is my favorite game, but the Wheel of Fortune, I can take it or leave it. I'm fine playing the base game. And also Magic the Gathering Arena of the Planeswalkers, Shadows over Innistrad. Oh my goodness, I'm out of breath now. That was another honorable mention because that's a really good one as well.
Yeah.
But my number 5, Time's Up Title Recall.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually played Time's Up Title Recall before I played Time's Up.
Yep.
And that
one's
is
been played
incredible.
a bunch in our group.
And it works really well too, because it's
to the point where it's actually it develops this really interesting meta game.
Yeah.
Where you start playing with the same group of people enough times, and you start using clues from like 3 sessions ago playing this game.
Yeah.
Where you're like, 50 Shades of Grey comes up, and all someone has to do is go whoosh, and you're like 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, and then like you create like these memes that we talk about throughout this, and so Time's Up Title Recall is easily my favorite of number 5 favorite expandalone title. So check it out.
Number 5 for me is going to be a game that was relatively new onto my radar. Again, it popped onto my radar after we did top 20 favorite board games. And the only reason why it's not the hero version of this is because it doesn't have an expandalone yet.
That's right.
And that is Star Realms Colony Wars. So if you played Star Realms, great deck building game. Probably should have gone onto my top 5 deck builders list. Didn't know about it at the time. So instead I played games that weren't deck builders, because why not? That's how I roll. Yeah. That's how I roll.
Dice games. Also good deck builders. Anyway.
Yes. So my number 5 is Colony Wars, which is basically it's another 2-player starter set. All new cards for the marketplace, same basic starter as the original Star Realms, but if you get the both of them, you can shuffle together the market so you can play up to 4 players. Because why wouldn't you want to play Star Realms with more players? It's just the more people you get, the more fun it is. And there's a bunch of different variants to it when you add more players and things like that. And definitely changed the game. Plus it made it better where you didn't have to buy 2 copies of Star Realms and just like only use 1 trade deck, because then things can get kind of sparse and you're like, well, you got the 8 attack card, I have nothing that can compete with that. Well, you get Colony Wars and then you can. So
that was on my short list. That was a really good pick. Speaking of picks, my number 4 is codenamed Pictures, and that is
I quit.
Well, we'll see you later. No, Codenamed Pictures, that was made as the picture version sequel of Codenamed, which I already really loved.
Which wasn't the stupid Target exclusive one.
No, not the adult one. That was dumb.
Because
but
why?
why not? I guess I don't know.
And it wasn't the
But-
Marvel or the Disney one,
Yeah,
which are also
they have been announced.
expandalones.
Yep. And so,
Well,
and
I
I will definitely get that and then combine them, because what's cool about it is that
The more
now that you
cards
have
you get, the
pictures
more
and
variability.
words. Yeah, exactly. It's one of those ones where it's a party game,
Yeah.
which you'll probably see more of here later on. But the fact is, you could just mash them together, and it's more of what you already enjoy and new ways to do it. So, my number 4 is codenamed Pictures.
Yeah. My number 4 is there's a number of really great expansions, but none of them are expandalones. It's a series that I actually really enjoy, and I have all of the expansions for it. And that is Legendary Marvel Villains. Legendary Marvel Heroes, of course, was in, I believe, my number 2 slot in my top 20. It's since shifted a little bit because of other games. But, yeah, the Villains
you could
one...
combine them.
Yes.
It's
You
weird, but
absolutely can.
you absolutely can,
It's a little bit finicky, but it definitely combines, and it lets you do things like the Marvel Civil War, where you can have, heroes and villains working together, where you can team up Spider-Man and Venom and build decks like that. It's a little bit finicky, a little bit interesting to get to work together, but it does. And then plus that means that you can shuffle in any of the expansions for villains and any of the expansions for heroes and mix and match.
Yeah.
So, Legendary Villains by Upper Deck.
Oh, good pick. My number 3 is one of those. It's the last of my party games on this list, and it's another party game where it just could use more. Spyfall 2. And because I already loved Spyfall, it's a game where you have one spy amongst everybody else. Everybody else knows the location. You list them off. You ask each other questions, trying to figure out who the spy is, and then the spy is trying to figure out where the location is. Really simple. And that had 30 locations in the base set. And Spyfall 2 brought another 20, and they gave you enough cards to play up to 12 players, which is awesome. Yeah, so I couldn't be more happy about that.
It could be like a circus is the location. And if you're playing with 6 players, 5 of you get circus cards and 1 of you gets a spy card. And you'll have someone like, almost like Guess Who sort of style, where you're like, I wonder, do you think they'll have peanuts?
Yeah.
And all the other players that know what the location is are trying to very subtly kind of provide those clues to suss out who the spy is. And the spy will be like, I hope they hit a home run. And you're like, oh, no, it's circus, not baseball game, jerk.
You play some mean games with Spyfall. They also did announce that they're going to do a superhero. I'm not sure if it's DC or Marvel, but they are going to do one of those for Spyfall 2.
And I say drinking Spyfall.
Plug it all right back in. So, my number 3 is Spyfall 2.
Yep. That was your number 3? Okay. Sorry, I lost count. That's for me is going to be a game by Brotherwise Games. This one actually was in my top 20. I do like the base one, but Boss Monster 2, the next level, just added more. So much more. There's 12 bosses in the base box. There's new dual heroes, new legendary heroes, new rooms, new everything. And if you shuffle it in with the first one, it just makes the best experience because it gets crazy off the walls. Boss Monster 2, really fun, very, very parody of video game style, where you'll have there's one of the warriors is a parody of Simon Belmont from Castlevania. Or you'll have the Jeopardy spell card is like a demon Alex Trebek. So, Boss Monster 2, the next level. It's my number 3.
That's a pretty good choice. My number 2 is another base set of a game that I already really loved. Only a card game, but one of the biggest card games I own. Dominion Intrigue. It's the only other base set. Everything else is expansions, but this is the only base set that you can play by itself. I like the original one better. But when they came out with Intrigue, I was like, awesome. More of the same, more cards, different abilities. Dominion excels on that aspect. I won't breathe about it too much. It's a deck builder. The deck builder is the first one that really set everything off. And the fact of having more cards into it, it just made it a great another 25 cards I can play with, yes,
Brought to you
please.
by Rio Grande Games. If you watched
Rio Grande Games.
one of our previous videos, then you would know.
You'll know how much I like Rio Grande Games. So yeah, Dominion.
And they're responsible for bringing the deck builder to the forefront.
Yep.
Because of games like Dominion, we got games like Marvel Legendary.
Exactly.
So,
shout out to deck building.
Yeah. Speaking of Marvel, you like that?
No.
That's how you segue, kids.
Not especially. Don't learn from him.
Don't. No, really don't.
Number
2 is Munchkin XMen, or Marvel Munchkin XMen, rather. It is an expansion. It finally gives you more X-Men cards to put into your Marvel Munchkin. And on top of that, it is a 3 to 4 player standalone base set. Right in the $20 range. Nice little price mark for if you need something to play with 3 or 4 people at your game night. But then on top of that, you can shuffle it in. And I believe, I have not play tested it, but I believe that if you get both that and Marvel Munchkin, you could play up to 10 players. It would be insanity.
That would take a long
But
time.
it would be fun.
Well, it depends on your definition of fun. But sure.
Well, not all of us like the gift series. Number 1.
Number 1. This is the only standalone expansion that actually replaces the base game for me.
Okay.
And it's by your favorite company.
Oh. Go
Dead of
on.
Winter, Long Night.
Yep.
I was a big fan of Dead of Winter, but I never owned it. And so as soon as they announced Long Night, they're like, oh, okay. I was like, all right, it's an expansion. Sure, I guess I might get Dead of Winter now. They're like, no, it's not an expansion.
I'm actually going to go ahead and interrupt you there for my number 1. Dead of Winter,
yes,
The Long Night.
Yes.
We did not plan this
fine.
at all.
I got me.
Nerd 5.
Nerd 5, Wi-Fi.
We missed. Yeah.
Dead of Winter, Long Night.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really the best.
Yeah.
The best one.
Well, it already took a great game like Dead of Winter, which was already a really cool cooperative hidden traitor zombie survival board game. If you like The Walking Dead, it is the Walking Dead game that you should be playing because the other ones are garbage. But having look, it's so good. We've got sirens going off in the background.
Yeah,
they stopped the presses for this.
Exactly. Well, and see, they
Dead
could
of
have just
Winter's a Long
released
Night,
it as an expansion. They could have.
It could have just been new, a couple of new cards, a couple of new locations, some new standees, and then that's it. You have to have the base one. But no, they went ahead and did a brand new standalone set with, I think there's 30 new characters.
Something like that.
There's like another 80 new Crossroads cards. You got all 6 of the original base locations and the board.
Yep.
But now the locations, instead of being cardstock, were upgraded to an actual board, which that alone was worth the price tag.
Well,
because I hate having paper cardstock on things.
Yeah.
I I laminated mine, and it does the job. But
yeah. No, now that you have the board, why not?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
And then on top of that, with the new modules, the Roxxon module and the Bandits module.
And the specialized zombies,
yes.
too.
So the Roxxon module and added the specialized zombies, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So and a new deck of Crossroads cards, too. So
one of my favorite video game series was the Left 4 Dead series. Zombie survival. You're cooperating together to get through to the end. And there would be these special infected that all have different abilities from the general horde of zombies. Dead of Winter Long Night brought that in to Dead of Winter, where now there is the tank and there is the I think they call it the spitter or the bile zombie or something like that, but it's basically the boomer from Left 4 Dead, where if you hit it, it will explode. And there's the frost zombies, and there's the hidden infected, which looks like a normal survivor, except her eyes are starting to turn a little too pink. Yeah. So good. So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah,
Isaac Vega.
We could keep talking about it, but we're not gonna.
Yeah.
For the sake of the audience here, if you know about it, go get it. There's no reason not to have it.
And coming soon, if you have the Long
Both
Night
of them.
and Dead of Winter, you can pick up Warring Colonies, and now you can play 2 teams against each other.
Which is
where
interesting.
Dead
It's
of
an
Winter
expansion
here.
that needs 2 base sets to do it.
Yeah, but still, it means you're not just shuffling it together and playing one game of 5 players. Now you're
But
playing
now that's the exact opposite
up to 12
of,
players
of an expansion.
Yeah, but I don't know.
It's
I'm interested to see what happens with it, because I can have like 12 people playing this, or 10 people I think it is, playing this game together, where I have 5 over here and 5 over here, and they've got their colony and they've got their colony, and they keep like getting into fights over supplies. So that.
See, I'm waiting for like the next like universal expansion where you're playing like the warring colonies, and then they combine like Dead of Winter, flick them up, and then you're like flicking discs at each other somehow between the.
See, I was hoping for an expansion where someone gets to play as the zombies.
Oh, there you go. Hey.
You can have
that.
You can have that idea, Isaac.
Right. So, with that being said, our number 1, Dead of Winter, Long Night.
Yep.
That was our top 10.
Top 5.
Top 5. Well, 10 between us.
Well,
top 5 Expandalone games.
Technically top 9, because the first one was the same
Stop
game.
technicality. So yeah, if you like this video, please check out all of our others. Check out previous weeks. Check out future weeks. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff.
Like, share, scribe.
Like, share, scribe. Okay.
Like, share, scribe. There you go. Coined another term. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week where
we're
we
talk
talk about the next video.
Something else.
Yeah. We'll see you then.